asked. What was the question?
I believe the question was, to what extent documents of population registrations were used as an instrument to carry out deportations and so forth. So population, kind of demographic reports.
A lot less than you would think. In the first place, in the East, in the parts of Poland and the occupied Soviet Union where the great mass of the murders occurred, there are no population registries. The Germans come into a village and they basically say, all the Jews have to go into the ghetto. And if you don't go into the ghetto, you will be shot. And of course, the enforcement mechanism for that is the non-Jews will denounce them. That is, if they don't go into the ghetto, the neighbors will say, but you should be there, and then the Germans will shoot them. Now, and then of course, when the murders start, basically what the Germans say is you will all assemble in the central square of the town, and if you don't assemble, it's the same penalty. People will finger you, they will point you out, and you will be shot. So in most of Europe, where these great numbers of shootings are taking place, there's no registration process, there's none of that. Now, one of the terrible tragedies of the murder process from the ghettos of Poland, where it's organized, is the Germans always delegate the dirty work to the people in the ghettos themselves. When they go to Chernyakov, the head of the ghetto administration in Warsaw, and they say, starting tomorrow, 6,000 people every day at the assembly point, or we will take reprisals, or we'll pick them ourselves. And the Jewish administrators always say, well, it's better if we do it than if they do it, because we'll be more merciful and we'll be more gentle and we'll find some ways to get around and we'll save the people we think are more worthwhile than the other people. And so they delegate the process. And you know, some of these people survived. I mean, the person who did this process in Łódź survived and lived in Israel for many years after the war and gave interviews and said, you know, was I right? Was I wrong? I asked the rabbis. They said it was okay. Incidentally, under the Talmud, it is not okay to do that, but that's what they were told. And so this was the impossible positions in which they put people. Now, in Germany and in the Netherlands, where the written record of who's a Jew and who's not a Jew is the best, okay, they don't rely on census data. They don't. The SS administration in Berlin relies on the card registration files of the Reichsvertretung der Deutschen Juden, the National Assembly of German Jews, because they think that file is better and easier to handle than the huge census records. So they basically take these files and they send to the Jewish Council in Berlin, the leading Jewish administration. They say, for the next deportation, we want men between the ages of 55 and 70. You pick them. Or send us all the registration forms of all the men who are between 55 and 70, and we'll pick them. And that's the way the deportations from Germany go. In the Netherlands, it's delegated to the local Jewish administration. They do the selecting and so forth. But you see, this is, remember the children? The members of the administration are often people with little children. And they're placed in this position. Are they going to comply with the Germans and give them the names? Or are they going to run the risk that the Germans are going to come in and take them all? And that's the way they experience this impossible